I gotta tell you guys, I don't know what's going on with the workers at Chipotle and Cava these days, but man, I've never seen people more distraught and just pissy in my entire life. I swear, it's like they hire from the same people, from like the same groups. I, s- I can't be the only one. Every time I go to Chipotle, I'm excited to, obviously, because Chipotle is fantastic. Same with Cava. But dude, I know what I'm in for. I'm gonna get somebody that's like just non-responsive. Doesn't matter if you ask them how their day's going, they're still gonna be pissed just because you decided to talk to them, even though they're in, you know, customer service or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. It's so nuts. I literally I was on a work trip and so I went to Chipotle just because it's like it's reliable and it's like somewhat clean. So I just know, and there's a ton of them, so I know that I know like what I'm getting basically. And dude, I went to like 2 to 3 Chipotles. I know it's bad, like a week for like 3 weeks straight, just from this crazy work trip that I was on. And dude, I swear, in the matter of like going to 8 to 9 different Chipotles, I got the exact same experience every time. Which, hey, props to them for fantastic quality control, not only on the food part, but on just the demeanor of the workers there. And I just bring up Cava because it seems like, I mean, they're pretty similar. One's Mediterranean, one's Americanized Mexican, so like the style is the same of, picking your meats and your rice or whatever. But yeah, no, it just seems like literally the workers are the exact same type of people too. Like you're guaranteed to get happier people if you ever go to like McDonald's or any of these other crap fast food spots. It's crazy. But that alone just got me really thinking of like, man, it's like everywhere. It's not even just there. Like that used to be like just the outlier. And it seems like just as the years have gone by, like that's become the norm now. You go to Publix, you go to Kroger, you go to Costco. These people just, I don't know. Just nobody wants to have a conversation anymore. Nobody wants to be friendly. Um, like you really just kind of have to go out of your way to force somebody to like actually like be responsive and just communicate back to you. It's such a weird situation. And I'm in sales too. I know a lot of you guys are in sales too, probably. And you just notice like obviously when you're in your element, and obviously if you've got the gift of gab, as they call it, being able to talk to people on the regular. I mean, not only is sales just a good thing to get into just to work on your social skills, but just in general, you're always gonna just strike up conversations with people. And yeah, I noticed that as the years have gone by, like when I first got into sales years ago, um, it just seemed like more people were willing to like want to actually have a random conversation at like like a Starbucks or something. And look, I get it. I get the whole hey, let's just keep it pushing. Like I'm not here to have a conversation. I'm not talking to like hey, like let me stop you in your tracks and let me talk to you. It's more of just like the friendly banter, of like oh like because I don't know. Starbucks came out with this BS new like protein cold foam, and I was commenting on that, and this guy like because I saw he got it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm thinking about getting that. What do you think?" And dude, he just looked at me with like a snarl, just a total snarl. I was like, "That is so crazy." Even the worker was like, "What the hell?" That person was like a total dick to you. I mean, I don't care. Obviously, again, if you're in sales, you get. I mean, rejection's the name of the game, right? And it's all a numbers game at that point. But yeah, it's crazy. And look, I'm all for keeping to yourself, and I mean, I'm all about that. Um, I don't party. I don't go to clubs. I'm not that type of that's not really my vice. And so I get it. Like you're wanting to keep to yourself and uh, but I mean, again, just when you're out in public, man, it's just weird. It's just really, really strange. The way that people are these days, and it's not like a certain demographic. Like this isn't a race baiting video. It's just kind of across the board. Younger people, young adults, young professionals, middle-aged people, even I will say even like older people these days, like it used to be like, oh yeah, you talk to an elderly person, they'll give you the time of day. It's like, dude, now I don't know. Like, yeah, like that's probably going to be more likely than if you talk to like a college student, that's just still in their high school, just pissy mindset. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It's a really, really weird world we're living in right now. And I don't know. I can't be the only one that sees this. I find that people are just very easily irritable these days. Again, whether I'm just going to the cashier. Oh, here's another crazy story. I went to this grocery store and they've got this cool, like, if you buy from a local farm one of the milk jugs that's glass, if you instead of just trashing it at your place, if you just rinse it and bring it back to the store, they give you like a credit, right? So it ended up being $3. So I came back, I went to the, whatever, desk person. They had like an information desk at this grocery store, and they gave me back $3, right? And nowadays I'm just kind of paying with my credit card for everything, including my groceries. But I was like, okay, cool, $3. I'll take it off whatever my total ends up being after I'm done grocery shopping. So I ended up getting like eggs, bacon, and beef, and I was doing some meal prep later in the day. So the total came out to like 50 something bucks. And so I go up to the cashier and she rings me up and it came out to like 57 bucks, 57 something. And I was like, oh, here, I've got these $3. And can I just like, I'll just give you this and I'll pay the 54, I'll pay the difference. Dude, she had such a conniption, you guys, of looking at those three physical American dollar bills. And look, I get it. The US dollar is so incredibly weak right now. Um, but dude, it's like she just was not trained in how to exchange cash at all. It wasn't like I gave her like 13 odd cents and $3. I would just give her $3 off the top. And dude, she looked at like already I could tell she wasn't in like a great mood. And I gave her the $3 and she just straight up just kind of took them and like paused, looked back at me, and then like put him in the cash register. I was like, dude, this is your freaking job. I was like, dude, most of the people here should be paying in cash. I mean, I don't pay in cash. I should though. But yeah, it's crazy. Like there's just so many instances like that where people I feel like are just on autopilot. And I know the whole everyone's an NPC these days. I mean, I try to be pretty positive and reasonable, but I can't help it that like, dude, every time you step outside your house, you just realize that people are just such shells of themselves. It's such a weird thing to experience. Um, and I gotta say, like, the more time passes, I mean, they always say, like, the more, the older you get, the more you become your parents. But I see, like, I see it even with like families. I don't know, like, parents just not disciplining their kids. Like, it just seems like everyone's just kind of like throwing in the towel. I know this video is all over the place, but I just, I it just seems like there was such a shift. And I know everyone says, oh, ever since COVID, this and that, ever since COVID. It's like, I always think of stuff as like a demarcation point. So, like, the two by far most common demarcation points you'll hear is people will say, like, oh, before I got married, after I got married, so and so. And then they'll say, oh, before I had my kids, after I had my kids. So it's like those two basically life events, like they think of themselves as a much different person before and then after. And yeah, it's just nuts because the other demarcation point, obviously, people talk about, it's like, hey, before COVID, after COVID. And I honestly, it's been so long, I really kind of don't even remember how people were before COVID, but they were definitely not like this. And it just, it's weird. It's really, really weird. I graduated like towards kind of the tail end of COVID, college, that is. And yeah, I kind of noticed that even with like some of the other classmates I had, they just, I don't know, it was just like kind of overnight. People, it's almost like COVID kind of gave people an excuse to finally be a recluse, what they've always wanted to be, and not have to talk to anybody. I just don't think it's healthy. Like, look, I get it. I don't think I'm a crazy extrovert. I know I'm definitely an extrovert over introvert, but I just think it's so healthy for people to be around others. I mean, we're humans, right? I mean, we're meant to, love one another, procreate, and have a family and have good relationships with other people and be good to other people. But yeah, the more the time goes on, the more I just see people just completely just distancing themselves from society. And I see it in my friend group, I mean, obviously, as you get older, you just tend to grow apart with people. And, uh, the relationships you build when you graduate college are typically the ones that are longer lasting just because you find people in your career and your work. And they're typically just, especially if they're your age, they're kind of on a similar trajectory as, your kind of high school buddies or your middle school friends that you had growing up just by virtue of being close to them. Um, you're not as close, in terms of just kind of life trajectories and goals. But yeah, it's weird. I hated growing up, or not even growing up, just the last couple of years seeing a lot of like my really good friends just turn into absolute drifters. And look, you don't have to have a crazy Jordan Peterson 15, 30-year plan, right? But you should have like some North Star, right? Whether it be like you're saving up for, I don't know, your first like rental property, you want to like move out of your parents' house, you want to, work towards like a hobby that you're turning into like that you want to turn into like a side job, that then turns into a full time. Like there's just got to be something. There's got to be something that's just not just your day to day schoolwork or your day to day 9 to 5 that's just eating you alive. Um, so it seems like in young, especially I see it in young people. Like young people have just completely lost their youthful vigor, which is super sad. And then you'll have people that are way older than them that still have it, and they're just you know super gung ho and always in good mood. I will say I know the first video I made on this channel was talking about gratitude, and it was like pretty religious, and that's just because Catholicism's like really my entire backbone. But um, yeah, it's just the older I've gotten, the more blessed I've felt with just having really good relationships, good mentors growing up. Um, Gosh, you really enjoy the little things. And that's why, like, you don't have to go outside to enjoy these things. It's just when you go in your day to day and getting, you get groceries, you get gas, whatever it is, getting, doing all your errands. It's when you start to like interact with people that you're like, man, it's just not even worth your breath anymore, Um, to try to, I mean, because I mean, the other thing too is like as a Catholic, like you should want to, make someone's day better, as simple as like asking them how their day is. But too, I'm just saying like it's just becoming harder and harder to like just muster up the energy to talk to people that are just so, I was gonna say non-compliant. Non-compliant's not the right word. Just in their shell. And I get it. Everyone's got stuff going on. People might be people. I mean, the person I talked to today, the cashier that I gave my $3 to, for all I know, she just found out that her aunt died or something. So she's in a terrible mood. So who knows, right? And she's in mourning. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, going back to just kind of enjoying the little things. Like, dude, I moved into a new spot. I got like some cheap patio furniture off OfferUp. It's super clean. It's awesome. I go out there. I read some of my Bible in the morning before work. Like it's just like that. I actually just did it like right before, right at the sunset, right after work. So it's just, gosh, these little things that don't cost money. They take very little energy, but they like really just help your mental state are so important. So, I know this is a pretty long video, and I know I kind of went all over the place, but I'd say, the moral of the story here is things are crazy. You're not alone. And not that any of this stuff would get to any of you guys, but we're called to be set apart, right? Um, and not only are we called to be set apart, but we're chosen for this time for a reason, right? And I mean, more often than not, you're going to see just a lot of bad stuff, and you're going to see a lot of things start to degrade. And I think the thing that's kind of been just a little bit jarring is how sharply society's kind of been declining, and not just geopolitically and obviously the rate of inflation and the job market and the dating market. But um, yeah, like I said, people are just more and more starting to distance themselves from one another, and it's not good. Um, right, here we go again with the audio scuffing, dude. I can't stand that. Anyways, guys, again, way too long of a video. But again, I just hope that you guys got something out of this. And again, the world's crazy. Don't sweat it. Things will be good. We win in the end. Don't forget that. All this nonsense, crap, everything that's being degraded means nothing in the end. We win. All right. See you guys.